Hello everyone, my name is Raj Kapadia and I am part of the Effort Day Trading team. For this video, we will be looking at some of the profit taking indicator tools. To start off with, let's look at the Bollinger Bands. So this tool takes the standard deviation of price data changes over a period and then adds and subtracts it from the average closing price over the same time frame to create trading bands. I know this could be a little difficult to visualize, but once I go through the basics of boundary bands and what or how it's useful, I'll show you how to plot one on using the MQL5 web application. So why are boundary bands useful? So they actually help us determine the volatility in the market. What does that mean? When there's a high volatility in the market, it means that there's a trend in the market and prices are fluctuating quite often, which also means it could be either a good time to buy or sell the currency pair that you have in hand. Again, it depends on the other tools that you are also looking at, and based off of that, a trading decision can be made. On the other hand, if the volatility is low, the currency is steady and no trend can be seen. Not necessarily no trend, but there could be a trend. However, the prices aren't fluctuating as highly as it would in a high volatility market. When there's low volatility, it could also mean that it's a good time to buy and sell, again depending on the trader itself. Only because even though there's a steady trend, it could also give an indication that there's going to be a change in the market. Um, so let's go ahead and plot the boundary bands on one of the currency pairs. So right here, I have the MQL5 web application open. So to start off with, this is similar to the MQL application itself. I just found that this would be easier for me. Um, so once you open up the MQL5 application, you'll see on the left side there will be market watch, or basically a list of currency pairs that you can analyze. So for right now, I'm just going to choose the Euro to USD. You can again choose any that you'd like. As you can see, it's plotted in a candle graph. I'll go to insert, and since this is an indicator, go to trend, because this again gives a good indication of what kind type of trend there will be. And here you can see a list of trending trend tools that you can use. We'll click on the Bollinger Bands, and as you can see, a pop-up will appear. Here you can select the period. I'm going to leave that as it is. Here is basically where you want to apply it to: open, close, high, low. Again, depending on you, we will keep it at close. And deviations is basically what I was talking about, how it adds and subtracts from the average price that will be plotted. Again, this is typically two standard deviations. This can be changed according to your needs. Once I select OK, you'll see that the Bollinger Bands have been plotted. So let's take a look at this. So the upper band, I will try and not to move this. So going back to this part here. So the upper band is the Bollinger Band that's two standard deviations away from the SMA. This line here is a simple moving average that's just plotted alongside with it. And the Bollinger Bands are basically two standard deviations away from the SMA, not the price itself. So as you can see, upper Bollinger Band is two standard deviations away, and the lower Bollinger Bands are two standard deviations away. Another thing to look at is, as you can see, when the Bollinger Bands contract, the price is kind of steady. Um, there's no like fluctuating changes. However, on the other hand, when it's a um, the bands are apart from each other, there's a huge trend going on. It's either very low, in this case it is going low, and it's drastic, because this is happening within a certain time frame. So yeah, that's definitely something to look at. Another thing to look at is when the candle chart is going above or beyond the Bollinger Bands. If it passes through, that is also an indication for overbought or oversold conditions. So here the Bollinger Bands are useful for that as well. There are other tools for this as well. However, Bollinger Bands are just mainly focused on the trend itself. So yeah, that's the Bollinger Bands for you, and give it a try so that you can also analyze it on your own and get a better understanding for it. So yeah, thank you.